Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a super quick TBR video for you guys. I'm going to be taking part in 2 readathons next week. I will be taking part in the BookTube-A-Thon and the Biannual Bibliothon. So these are both going on during the same week, the 23rd through the 29th, I believe the dates are, and each of them have their own challenges. I have combined the challenges and come up with 7 books that I'm going to try to read next week. I have no hope that I will read all 7 books because I think I might be going out of town during it, so we'll see how well I do, but without further ado, let's get into it. So starting with the BookTube-A-Thon, the first challenge is read a book with a person on the cover, and for that I will be reading Amy and Roger's Epic Detour by Morgan Matson. I have read a Morgan Matson book every summer for the past 2 or 3 summers. I read The Unexpected Everything last summer and Since You've Been Gone the summer before, both during the BookTube-A-Thon, so I have decided I'm going to again read a Morgan Matson book. I love Morgan Matson and I'm super excited for a summery contemporary read. Next we have read a hyped book, so I decided to read Flame in the Mist by Renee Ahdieh. I honestly feel like I can't watch a BookTube video without someone mentioning this book. I don't think I've actually heard anyone read it and tell me what they thought of it. Maybe one booktuber, maybe. Everyone else just kind of talks about the hype around it and how excited they are for it, but I want to find it out for myself what this is, so I'm super excited about it. All I know about it is that it was considered a Mulan retelling for a while, but now it isn't. It's just about a girl who infiltrates a society or a something. She infiltrates something by dressing up as a man, so super excited to get into this. I know that was a super vague synopsis, but if you know my channel, you know that I don't like going into books knowing what they're about, so that's what I know about this one. The next challenge is to read a book in one day, and for that I have picked Every Heart a Doorway by Seanan McGuire. I have heard nothing but amazing things about this book. I believe it's got like 100 some pages, 170 some maybe, so I figured I should read a short book in a day, and this sounds like an amazing book, something I'm gonna get really invested in and just will fly by, so I'm super excited to read this one. I know that it is about a world where there's like other dimensions and like a lot of doorways, and children go through these doorways and time is different, so they come back and it's like it could be a year where they feel like they've only been gone a day, stuff like that, and they have to go to like a school for children who have done this. So I can't wait to pick this up. The next challenge is to read a book about a character who is very different from you, and so for this I picked Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. I know this follows I don't know too much about this book. I know that this follows Simon, a boy who is gay at his school where it is not super accepted, but he goes online and meets another gay student from his school who is also in the closet, and they kind of meet, and then someone finds out about their ongoing talks and their sexuality and basically blackmails Simon about it. I feel like that was a really like haggard description, but I don't know exactly what happens in this book. I've heard that this is amazing. This obviously has won a lot of awards and people love this book, and obviously it's a very different situation from me, so I figured that checked off that box. The next challenge is to read a book completely outdoors, so I decided that I would combine the read a book in a day and the read the book outdoors challenge for Every Heart a Doorway. I just figured if I picked a nice day that wasn't super hot or rainy or, you know, gross, that I would, you know, sit outside, camp out, and knock out this book. So that is my plan. Next up is to read a book that you bought because of the cover. So I didn't cheat on this one because I definitely picked up these books. I was definitely drawn to these books because of the covers, but I also picked them up because I'd heard amazing things, and for this I will be reading Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. Basically, I have heard nothing but amazing things about this book, but it is also absolutely beautiful. I know this is a fun, light contemporary. I pick up light contemporaries during readathons because I find that they're a little bit easier to get through and to actually, you know, plow through, marathon, and, you know, bump up that reading count. And the last challenge, which I'm going to try to do, but I doubt I'm going to do, is read 7 books. Now for the Biannual Bibliothon, the first book that everyone is reading is the group book, and that is Flame in the Mist by Renee Audier. I've obviously used this for a challenge in the BookTube-A-Thon, but so I am super excited to knock out a couple challenges with this book. Next up is to read a book from one of the host's favorite genres, and I picked the urban fantasy genre and a book that I really need to read, and that is City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. Obviously, I've talked about how much I want to read this book, how ashamed I am that I haven't read it yet, and this is obviously on my top 5 books I want to read this summer, so I figured perfect time to get through with it. We'll see if I get to it and if I actually finish it during the readathon. I don't know, it's a stretch with all these books, but it is definitely something that if I don't read during the BookTube-A-Thon or the Biannual Bibliothon, I will be getting to very shortly. The next challenge is to read a banned book, and for this I picked The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. Obviously, people have been talking about this a ton lately because it is now a series on Hulu. I have wanted to read this ever since I read the synopsis, like way back on Amazon, and I was like, that sounds amazing. And it was written in the 80s before dystopian and all that was like really taking hold. So this is an adult book, but I've heard amazing things and I'm hoping I can get through it. It's not super long, it's about 300 pages. We'll see. The next challenge is the Throwback Challenge, and that is basically where you take one of the challenges from the past biannual bibliothons and you use that. So for this, I picked the Wildcard Challenge, and basically you just pick a book, whatever book you want to read. And for this, I am using Amy and Roger's Epic Detour. Obviously, there's a lot of cross, between these TBRs. I'm only reading 7 books, well, trying to read 7 books, so I had to make these books work for these challenges, so hopefully I can knock this out and knock out a couple of these challenges. And then we have the book to movie challenge, which is basically you watch or you read the book and then you watch the movie adaptation. You can also use TV shows for this. So for me, I decided to use The Handmaid's Tale for this. I have a Hulu subscription, I believe, and if I don't, I'm gonna try just like a 30-day free trial, knock out a couple episodes of this and see what I think about it. I think I'm gonna really like it, but I'm hoping that I can knock this out so that I can watch the Hulu series, because I'm obviously not going to watch the series and then read the book. The next challenge is to read a book that you've seen somewhere other than BookTube, and for this I am also using City of... This was big when I was in middle school. I actually had a friend in middle school who was reading this series and who absolutely loved it, and it's kind of just stuck in my mind ever since. So when I was watching BookTube at the very beginning and people were freaking out about this or like super fangirly about it, I was like, oh wow, I remember that book. Brianna used to read that book, or that series. So book I've seen somewhere other than BookTube, saw it when I was in like 7th grade, so counts. The last challenge for the biannual bibliothon is to read a book that is LGBTQIA+, and for this I am reading Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda. Obviously, as I said, this follows a homosexual character, so this fits for a couple of the challenges during these readathons. So thank you guys so much for watching. Those are all the books I'm going to be trying to read next week. Fingers crossed I get through a lot of them because I am super behind on my reading goal on Goodreads and I just want to like catch up. Reading ACOTAR has really thrown me off that these books take me a super long time to read. I decided to put ACOMAF down and, put it on pause because I'm on like 100 pages on it and I've been reading it for like 10 days. I just find that I cannot get into it and like really delve in. I kind of have to read it in increments. Not a great readathon book, so I will not be reading that next week. I will be putting it on pause and hopefully that will make me even more excited to get back to it after I'm done. But thank you guys again for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, all the normal stuff, and I'll see you guys again real soon. Bye.